Hello again, everyone. Jerry Strauss here for the press of Atlantic City. And, folks, it's coming up this Saturday night. We are on the road to WrestleMania, the biggest sports entertainment event of the year. World Wrestling Entertainment is making a stop this Saturday at the legendary Boardwalk Hall right here in AC. That's a 7:30 bell time this Saturday, March 22nd. It's going to be headlined by a steel cage match, Daniel Bryan and Kane, but another big headliner that's going to be a huge part of this event, the man I have on the line right now, one of the brightest stars in World Wrestling Entertainment today, Roman Reigns. Thanks for joining us, sir.
What's going on, man?
Oh, we're just very excited. This big event coming up. Atlantic City has great WWE fans year in and year out. And let's take it back really quickly as we talk to you. Just at the beginning, you debuted around 2 years ago, approximately speaking. You took World Wrestling Entertainment by storm when you showed up with your group, your crew, known as The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and yourself. What do you think it was about your collective, your trio, that allowed three newcomers to come into World Wrestling Entertainment and immediately establish yourself as main event players and to hold that position all the way to this very day?
I think it started and it remained with our work ethic. We brought in an insane work ethic with us. We all trained down in the developmental system together, so the powers that be knew what kind of competitors they were bringing up. I just don't think they were ready for how hard we were going to go and the type of matches we were going to put on with all these six-man tags and all these team fights. So I think that's kind of the thing that has separated us and allowed us to remain where we started, was with a crazy work ethic and just the mindset to not take no as an answer. If there's something we want or we need, we'll fight for it. And I think that's pretty apparent with what we've done in the first couple of years.
Right. Now, you guys rolling into Atlantic City. I know that it's a very busy time, certainly this time of year for you on the road to WrestleMania. And I know you guys, of course, very serious-minded most of the time that we see you. But when you hit a city like Atlantic City, if you do, in fact, have any downtime, do you like to kick back? Do you enjoy coming to a place like AC where it's very easy to be able to go out and have some fun if there's any opportunity?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a pretty lighthearted person. I know, I come off a certain way, I imagine sometimes, but I'm in the heat of battle, so I think any man would have that type of demeanor that I have when you're in, you're in the Shark Tank. But a city like AC, I enjoy those big city entertainment filled atmospheres like the Boardwalk. And I was actually just in Vegas a couple weeks ago. So anytime I can be around the lights and all that action, it makes for a fun time and a good atmosphere. And if you have that, you have a couple of good people around you to talk to, you can't really ask for a better time.
Now, Atlantic City, of course, great wrestling fans, WWE fans dating back, even all the way back to the 80s when WrestleMania was actually held in Atlantic City. That was back in 1988, 1989, back to back. Hulk Hogan, a big part of those events and a big part of the scene back then, and now he's back with the company. He's going to be a host of this year's WrestleMania. What does it mean for World Wrestling Entertainment to have Hulk Hogan back in the fold?
Well, I think it's important. He's such a big, he's such a big name, and he's a legend. He was a part of the process that laid down the foundation for what we have now. He was a part of the process of making the WWE the sole producer of sports entertainment. So to have him back and with all the experience that he has and all the things he's seen, I mean, all the way from the very first WrestleMania to now, I think it's important to have, a guy like that feel tied in with what we do. To be such a huge part of our history, it's important that he's a part of our present and a part of our future.
And I think even Hulk Hogan has to be pretty impressed and probably a little bit shocked by just the absolute wild battles that we've seen lately between yourself and the other members of the Shield, as we've seen you do battle with another group of unique newcomers, to say the least, in World Wrestling Entertainment, the Wyatt family. We've seen you do battle a few times already on TV. Now you're going to take it to Atlantic City. It's going to be the Wyatt family and the Shield one more time. How crazy do you think it's going to get in Boardwalk Hall?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last bit of that question, but I think I have an idea of, Wyatt and us live in Atlantic City. We had our first fight on pay-per-view. If you weren't able to catch that, I think it will be on the network shortly. With a little bit of time, that was a badass fight. Last night on Raw, we had another pretty good one. But I think just what you can expect, and I think this is what the people may have kind of saw, like, whenever the Wyatts face off with the Shield, some of the rules may kind of go out of the door because we get wild. I mean, there's a bit of hardcore to what we're doing, and the type of intensity that we bring, that's not only limited to a TV match. I mean, when we face off in Atlantic City on the 22nd of March, we're bringing war. And that's just the way it is. I mean, that's something, especially when on these WWE Live shows, they say follow the buzzards. We're just tracking them. We're just following. Yeah, we're following them to fight them and rip the Wyatts apart. So hopefully it'll go down the way we want it, with the Shield up. It hadn't been that way. The Wyatts, they're hell of competitors, but I think the third time may be the charm, and it's going to go down in AC. What a better place to do it in Atlantic City on the boardwalk.
All right. Well, one more question for you, Roman, and then we'll let you go. You're heading into your second WrestleMania, the biggest event of the year. The road to WrestleMania, of course, that momentum, that intensity has to be picking up, not just with you, but everybody that's part of World Wrestling Entertainment. And we're just a few weeks away from the big event that's going to be on the WWE Network. It's going to be emanating from St. Louis. What I wanted to ask you is what kind of atmosphere do you think that Atlantic City this Saturday night, what are we going to see? What kind of intensity are you feeling? And what kind of intensity is the entire World Wrestling Entertainment locker room going to bring as you all get ready for WrestleMania?
Well, I mean, we're in the home stretch, like you said, to WrestleMania, so there's no time for games. There's no playing around. Everybody's trying to get themselves just completely polished before the biggest sports entertainment show, the biggest entertainment show on earth. So everybody is going to bring their A games. Everybody wants to sharpen their, everybody wants to be sharp and perfectly set for Mania. So the intensity we're bringing, it's a no BS attitude. We're coming in there to wreck shop, to tear it down, because like you said, that momentum is important. And where it starts is for these live crowds on these WWE live events. So it's there's no days off for a WWE superstar, especially once you get into the home stretch to WrestleMania.
And a big part of that home stretch coming up this Saturday night, once again, right here in Atlantic City, the legendary Boardwalk Hall. It's a 7:30 p.m. bell time. You will see Roman Reigns lead the Shield into battle against the Wyatt family, plus a big cage match, Daniel Bryan and Kane, and a whole lot.